Linda, and I'm a healer, a coach, and a facilitator. And in this channel, I bring clarity to practical spirituality and emotional intelligence concepts so you can use them in your day-to-day to create a more fulfilling and joyful life. So today I want to talk a little bit about this concept that we have about people in the spiritual field and in the self-development field being perfect. And I was talking to a friend a few days ago, and we were talking about this idea of how sometimes people get really surprised when they see someone who's spiritual or who has a spiritual practice getting upset or getting angry or being very emotional. And what I find interesting is that we have this myth that all these people, and I'm including myself in that, right? Because I not only practice all of this stuff and do my own healing work and my own self-development work, but I also have a business. I'm running a business that is what I practice. That's what I help my clients with. And this idea that we are the kind of people that never get angry, or that when someone does something that is hurtful to us, we're always so composed and we can always just meditate and don't feel angry or don't feel hurt, or when we do, we always behave in the right way, is a myth. It doesn't exist. There are some of us who may be better or worse than others, right? Because there's a spectrum. But in general, we are, at the end of the day, we are all human beings and we all have emotions. And part of being a human being, of the experience of being human, is having emotions. And emotions includes a broad range, not just happy, fluffy, and pretty emotions. Sometimes anger, rage, pain, suffering, all of that is part of the human condition. And that is what we are here for. That is what we are here to experience. But I started noticing more and more that over the last few months, there's been a lot of talk about, when someone who's deemed to be a spiritual person does something that others disagree with, that is like, oh my God, she's spiritual and she should know better, or he should know better, or etc. And like I was saying, at the end of the day, we are human beings, right? And I think that it's not helpful for us, meaning people who do this work for a living, but also for those of you who are watching us, right? Whether you're watching us through video, like YouTube videos or Facebook live streams or Instagram or posts or whatever, to think that we don't have those emotions, to think that we don't make mistakes, to think that we don't get angry. It actually does a disservice, at least from my perspective, it does a disservice to those of you who are watching, the very people that I'm trying to help, the very people that I'm trying to provide some help or guidance for, because it's not true. I mean, I am, and I don't want to use stereotypes here, but I am Caribbean. Most of you who've watched me for a little bit know that. I am from Puerto Rico, and I have a pretty hot temper. I'm not saying that everybody that's Latin does, but I think Latin people tend to be a little bit better at or more comfortable expressing their emotions than maybe other cultures are. I don't think it's that we feel them more intensely or we have more emotions. It's that we may be a little bit more comfortable openly expressing them. And I am fairly comfortable openly expressing my emotions, especially when those emotions are anger, or that emotion is anger. And there's this idea, that people have, that people like me don't get angry, or when they get angry, they, just do everything right. That is absolutely not the case. I have a temper on me, and it takes some time to get there. I'm not someone who gets offended or angry very easily. It usually takes a lot for people to reach that threshold. But once you get there, all bets are off. And, I can get pretty angry and pretty rageful. And as a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to someone, I can't remember for what, but it was, I was on a customer service call because I needed help. I needed help with something. And I was talking to this customer service person, and I was talking to her for about 30 minutes. and I explained in great detail and provided proof of what I was the issue that was happening that I was trying to resolve. And I had to repeat myself several times because she kept either not understanding or sort of focusing on something else. And I actually lost my temper and I started yelling at her. And that is something that I normally wouldn't like to do, more specifically because I worked in the service industry and I know how awful that feels. But and it's something that I regret doing. But the truth is that I lost my temper because I was trying to explain something to her and she just wasn't listening, and she just wanted to give me the company script, and that wasn't going to cut it. So at the end of the day, right, what's important about this is not that not to feel anger or not to feel pain or not to express it, is to, when we express it, to try and do it in the most evolved and healthy way. And when we cannot, is to look back and see what can we learn from that experience, how we can do it better next time, and hold ourselves accountable for whatever we've done that is unkind or is damaging or hurtful to someone else. I think that is what the most important piece, and to me that is really what this journey of spirituality and of self-development has been. It's been about learning what my trauma is, healing my trauma, and through that healing how I interact with others and with the world around me as a whole, right? And I think the reason I wanted to talk about this today is because I think it's really, really important that anybody who's watching any, development or growth or spiritual person or teacher understands that they are also human beings and that they are also going to make mistakes, and that what is important is that we learn from that we apologize when needed, that we hold ourselves accountable, that we learn what we need to learn from that, and that we do better. But being this idea that we are not unkind ever, or that we don't make mistakes, or that we don't sometimes yell at someone or at the dog, or that we don't break something because we're so angry, is just a myth. And for me, it was really important to share that with everybody because I do want to take this, I want to sort of dismantle that, because I think what is really helpful for people and what was really helpful to me in my own journey is seeing my teachers as the human beings that they are, because that helps me see that, oh wait, I can do this too. I don't have to be perfect to do this. And I think that's one of the most important things that anybody who's doing this for as work or as a practice can share with others, that you don't have to be perfect to be spiritual. You don't have to be perfect to grow and get better. So I hope that was helpful to you, and I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. What do you think? If you've had any experiences where you've done or said something that is hurtful or that is not perfect and you've been criticized, etc. I'm really interested in hearing what you have to say about that. And as always, thank you very much for your attention, and until next time, namaste.